welcome to episode 5 of the Checks Over Strikes podcast. I'm Dean, and this is my partner Craig. And this week we have some interesting topics to talk about. So it's been about maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, that Canada Post has been on strike, and it's just one of the worst times that they could do it. Around Christmas time, like everybody's expecting their packages, people sending from overseas, across the border, whatever it may be, and even the workers, because now they're not working, they're not getting paid. So it's like they're out there in the freezing cold. We won't work until our wages will go up. So it's kind of sucks, but these things happen, especially when you have unions. Every so often this happens. If it's not Canada Post or the Postal Service, it's the school board, or it's what's the other thing that we have that school board or transit.
Transit, yeah. Or just public services in general.
Yeah.
And I think, Dean, you mentioned it. I think you mentioned it last week, just as a joke. You know what? We're not receiving our bills. We're not receiving anything in the mail. But when you really take a stab at it, it's really impacting our economy hugely, because there's a lot of people that have small businesses. And just to kind of give you some context behind, how it's impacted the economy, as I'm reading here, Canada Post strike costs Canadian small business $76 million per day. $1 billion total by Wednesday. That is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So if you're a small business out there and you heavily rely on the Postal Service, shit ain't happening. How do you pivot?
Yeah.
How do you get around that? And then what is the government doing about it? I look at these things and I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist type of guy, but it has me thinking, why is this happening and why is this happening now? Or do you have any political, how can I say, political, is there any type of political strategies around what's going on? Or do you think?
I have no clue. I didn't even notice that my mail was missing. I was like, where's the guy? I always see the guy coming to the house, drop the mail, and I was like, yo, where's this guy? I don't see this guy. And then someone says, oh, they're on strike. I was like, oh, that's why my mailbox late. But to me, I'm not somebody that really follows the politics. It's too much hearsay, and they say stuff and they don't deliver. So who knows what it is?
And that's the thing. Like something like this, how does the government step in and say, hey guys, this is a service that is needed. It's a public service to be needed. Businesses are going to suffer. Why don't we put a stop to this? And last time I heard, the two parties are so far from they're so far from negotiating. It's not going to end for now. So again, another tidbit. The Canada Post strike has been going on for about 2 weeks, and the cost of small business to medium-sized business sector at least $765 million, or $76.6 million each business day. At this rate, if the strike is not immediately resolved, it will cost the sector $1 billion, warns the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. So this is crazy. It's really it's the Grinch who stole Christmas, because basically I don't see it ending right now. And even if they do come to an agreement, what does that look like? Because as things get more pricier or inflation, our salaries don't go up, at the right rate based on inflation. It may go up a couple dollars, but what does that look like? And how does that impact the postal workers? Again, I'm a firm believer standing up for your right, standing up what you believe in. But what's going to be done? If they're so far off from negotiating, what's going to happen? And again, should the government step in? I think the government should step in, because I think it's a service that is needed, and it's a public service. So what is the government going to do? We don't know, but it's just a situation in which that I didn't think that there was so much money tied into it. And after just kind of doing some research, I'm like, wow, there is a lot of money tied into this strike, and it could impact the economy severely. So I don't know. Yes, I like not seeing bills, but at the same time, there are different impacts for everybody, especially small to medium-sized businesses.
Yeah. That's why they get you with the email address. It's like, hey, sign up for paperless billing so I can just directly get into your inbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like the negative impacts of this strike right now, and they're saying among those 41% reported cost impact totaling $2,000 in lost orders, more expensive delivery alternatives, late payments, the inability to promote their business at a crucial time of the year, like we mentioned, Christmas, which I believe is a fourth quarter revenue generator. Overall, 69% of small business owners want the government to introduce back to work legislation, as I was talking about, because again, as the strike continues, there's going to be issues happening with the economy, with people's businesses, and what are we going to do? Have these businesses tank? A lot of people work hard to start their small business or medium-sized business, so the government really needs to step in. That's just my 2 cents behind it. Again, I'm not really political savvy about the situation. I can almost safely understand that there are probably political strategies around this, but what they are, I don't know. So that's just where I stand on it. I hopefully they get back to work as soon as possible. But what's most important is just making it fair for the workers. Like, we know that things in the economy or things in the world are just getting pricier. We can't continue to be giving people peanuts and hoping those peanuts are going to help them through a year or through family things or through their monthly purchases. Everybody has to live, but has to be done fairly.
I can only imagine when they go back to work, the amount of work that they're gonna have to do to get back up to speed.
Up to speed, yeah. Passports. So if you mailed in your passport, you're screwed. And I'm a guy that goes right to I'm not mailing it in. I'm going right to the office. I'm old school. A lot of people just mail it in because hey, they may not be traveling for the time being, and they can wait. But it's impacting a lot of things.
Also, I think they're doing medical things. Something had to do with medical people are waiting on. So yeah, that's kind of sucks, but things happen.
Yeah, like I said, free the postal workers, get them back to work. It's important.
Yep.
And this is a question that, Dean speaks about a lot. If you were to win the lottery, what would you do? And I think the last winner came out of Quebec. He won $40 million and treated his colleagues to a pizza lunch, which is crazy, and then resigned. So that's just crazy in itself. But the whole point that I've tried to make is that, again, coming into a windfall of money, such as that amount, $40 million, Dean, what would you do if you won $40 million tomorrow?
I would follow that guy's footsteps. So I'd go to Tim Hortons and get that pizza. Everyone gets their own. No one has to share. Don't worry about it. You get a full little pizza to yourself. What I would do is kind of just fulfill the dreams that I've had to just build my own. Well, I don't know if 40 million could do it, but at least buy some land and develop it, develop my own property or the properties I want to develop. Yeah. Kind of just build like my own little small community. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be in Canada because Canada is expensive. Yeah. Like what we pay for in Canada, you can go to a different country and get like create like a whole city for yourself. So I'd probably do that. Probably take some money, invest in some startups. Oh, I was listening to something, following what billionaires do with their money, or millionaires. Well, yeah, millionaires, billionaires, when people get like large lump sums of money and follow what they do. It's like, not to say I wouldn't invest in my business, but I don't want to work on my business, right? So I would take half of that, put it into slow investments, guaranteed investments. Yeah. Make like 7 to like 9% return a year. Take that other 50% and invest it into like small companies or be an angel investor. And when the guy explained this, he's like, this is what they do with their money, because the 50% they take, they're okay with taking that risk because they're putting more chips on the table. So think of it like a roulette table. Yes, yes. If you put it on all the numbers, if one hits, that's 1 to 33, even though the roulette table has more than that. But if you strategize correctly, if one pops, that cancels out all the ones that you lost on. And I was like, oh, that's how they play the game, and that's how they keep getting richer and richer. So it's like, all right, this takes care of me, but this is gonna take me to the next
Next
level.
level.
And that's what these guys do. I can almost imagine this is what rappers do, like Nas. Nas took some of his capital, threw it into Coinbase,
Yep.
and now he's I think also Uber. Coinbase and Uber making a boatload of money. Chameleonaire did that. He invested into Lyft. Chameleonaire is like, why am I rapping?
Rapping, exactly.
Why not do what these guys are doing? Come on.
Yeah.
So it's like you make a lot of money, take half of it, do what you need to do to take care of you, and then the other half, it's like gambling. Well, it's like calculated risk. It's not gambling because it's calculated risk. But now it's more exciting seeing a company take off and then explode.
explode, yeah.
Imagine if you were a part of Facebook when it first came out.
First
Yo,
came
you'd
out.
be laughing
And you
right
had the
now.
money to invest.
Come
And you mentioned something very, 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 very intelligent. Taking the money and investing into a slow investment that's guarantee you 9%. When that money is working for you and you get that back, that 9%, that's like free money.
Yo, it literally takes care of your lifestyle,
Yep.
your everyday bills, your needs, whatever. So it's like if you have $1 million and you're getting 9% $1 million, that, or even 10%, that's $100,000 that you're getting for the year.
Yeah.
So that's like
It's a
less
salary.
than $10,000 you're getting a month. You're telling me you're going to live off of that? You're laughing at that
So
point.
and it's so important to understand that because we've seen the horror stories in people getting windfall money and being broke, especially sports athletes, getting these huge contracts, not having the financial literacy aspect of how to leverage that money or manage it, and it goes right down the drain.
As you say that, that's where some of my money would go. Investing into creating my own school so that I can teach the youth things that we didn't learn, or just investing back into the community. Because like right now, you know how hard it is to find a coding program for my kids? It's like
Wow.
near and far from nowhere. Like it's either way out of the city or
Yeah.
they're not old enough for their
yeah.
age. But now imagine somebody can come in and teach at any age level. It's like they have to be 15 or 16. Like my kids are interested now. Where do I send them?
Where do you send them? Yeah.
And it's like creating the programs now to have those things in place for them or for the next generation to come. So I would be investing back into where I grew up so that they could have better opportunities. And not everybody thinks. I'd probably create some scholarships for kids that are like really bright and have a future but don't have the money to do it. And it's like, listen, you don't have to take on OSAP or take on debt to go to school or having to work. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to just focus on your schoolwork, fill out the application, and there you go. And just give back to the community at the end of the day. It's like reinvesting into
Reinvesting in
somebody
your
else.
people.
So that's what I would do.
That's very, very key and important. However, I want to ask you, because again, you talk about this a lot. What should your mindset be? So you wake up in the morning, you win $40 million the next day. Where should your mindset be?
Go to a therapist so that I can make sure you don't do something stupid. But your mindset, if you're somebody that's in a deep, dark place and you get that money, you got to just really sit there and just really think. Because as fast as it came is as fast as it could go. It's like watch Hangover. Like, look how fast they just went through whatever, right?
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's like you wanted all these big expensive items, but when you really think about it, like just like playing the video games, they give you a specific amount of cash you can use, but when you want the most expensive items, like that's exactly how you have to think of it. They give you a specific amount in the video game. You're looking to see, okay, what can I combine together to make the most sense and stretch this money? You have to look at that money as, how do I stretch this money to last for the rest of my life? Where it's like, if you only make a specific amount and let's say you have $100 after your paycheck, you're saying to yourself, how do I stretch this money for the rest of the next 2 weeks? You got to think the same way as that 40 million or whatever that you win. How am I going to stretch this until I die or I can give it to the next generation? Because most people, they just think tomorrow. I'm going to buy the nice house, I'm going to buy the Lambo, and I'm going to go on a expensive vacation, I'm going to go on a yacht, I'm going to take a private jet. But these things add up, and you're only just doing it for those little increments of the lifestyle. It's like, you can get all those things, but do it smart. If you don't know nothing about money, find somebody that knows about money that can guide you correctly. I would start with an accountant.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I got this money. How do I make this last? What are the things I can do that won't make me go broke next year? And literally, they'll give you a blueprint. And you don't have to necessarily go to that one guy. Filter, like, survey a few of them, or I don't know the word, but go to a few of them and see which one you vibe with, right? Before you say, yeah, I'm going to sign on the dotted line and help you, whatever, right? Because there are scammers out there. Like, yeah, do this, and then take all your money after that, right?
Most definitely. And I think just like for me, waking up to $40 million, I think the shock would be there first. But then, like you said, kind of sitting down and asking yourself, what am I going to do next? Like for me, again, shock would be there. I don't know who I would even call first, to be honest with you.
I was just about to think. I wouldn't even tell a soul.
Yeah,
I'm so paranoid with people nowadays.
Yeah.
Yo, you got 40 mil?
Yeah, I know.
When a man rolls up on your house, like
exactly. That's the thing about it. Like I don't know, but you know how it works with the OLG here. When you win that money, you have
mask.
I don't think you can mask. This is not Jamaica.
I'm doing like that Jamaican guy.
No, they don't.
Put on that mask.
I don't think you can do that here. You gotta go to OLG. They're taking your picture, and you gotta show your face.
At one point in my life, I said, yeah, if I win a lottery, I'm going on there making a fool of myself. But now that I'm older and the things I've gone through, I was like, I don't want anyone to ever know. Yeah. It's like, I'd rather be a silent millionaire. It's like, why do I got to be out there, be loud and proud of the thing that I have? No, because there's just going to be a lot of people that's going to envy me and then be like, yo, how this guy get it?
Yeah.
And then try to figure out where I am and this. Like, nah, I don't want to be looking over my back.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be paying for security. Like, why? So I'd rather just be quiet and, like, just go couch down Mississauga Road. Bro, those houses over there, bro, I took a picture of a house. I had to take it in sections because it was so big.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Mississauga Road had houses. I knew they're big, but this one was massive. Like, literally, I took 3 pictures of it. I was like, if I'm in this, because it was gated, everything, I was like, I don't need to leave. If it's not there, like, Bridle Path, it kind of has a name for itself, like, celebrities.
Yeah.
But, like, Mississauga Road is just quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
But the houses are huge. I don't know how Sam McDaddy lives over there.
I think, again, even if I was to tell anyone, and again, family members are gonna come to you, and I almost believe, hey, if you're coming to me for money or coming to ask for money, I'm asking for a business plan.
The most I'm doing is paying off your debt, or I'll pay your rent or your mortgage for a year. That's it.
Like I said, business plan. You have a business idea. I'm investing into that business.
Yeah.
It has to be. You have to come to me proper. It's not about giving you something and then hoping down the road, like again, you're gambling, hoping down the road that you're gonna hit it rich. No, because once I invest into that business, that's just what it's going to be. If you're not doing what you need, if you're not doing the due diligence to ensure that whatever investment that we put in together, that it's going well, I can't do nothing for you, because then that's when you start enabling people. Okay, you know what? He gave me 50 grand. Okay, I can ask for 100 grand, or I can ask for this, I can ask for that. And it's funny, I think Jay-Z said at one point, like one family member asked him for, I can't remember, I think he asked him for 50,000. And he was like, okay, what do you need it for? And he was like, I just need it. So he's like, what do you mean you just need it? Like, what do you need it for? And then I think when Jay said no, he's like, I lost a family member. But he's like, that's okay.
I can almost imagine if, like, do these guys even have family after they make that much money?
Yeah, I know.
Like, you live in this big house that can house your whole family but it's only you and your 3 kids, your maid, and your security. Like, it really makes me think, is like, do you really have family after you make it? Like,
I know.
The Kardashians, do their families still come over?
But it's funny because their family, I guess how they came up was just a whole family reality story. Like their family,
them, but that's their immediate family.
Yes, yeah.
But like the cousins,
yeah.
aunties,
Because it's true, because you don't really see them.
Like
you only
anybody,
see them
any celebrity, you never hear about their family. And like people was like, yeah, I'm related to them, and it's like, do you talk to them? No, not really. And it's like, okay. It's like
it can most definitely cause a strain, and it's just because at the end of the day, you kind of figure out who is who and what they're really on your side for, unfortunately. They say money is the root of all evil, but I don't believe in that. I think it's the person behind the money. Because the money is going to be there regardless of the fact. But We all know that when people get money, it changes their character, it changes their integrity, it changes a lot of things. In turn, it changes your whole model. So again, I've seen it. Money changes people in weird ways, but again, it is what it is. And for me, again, waking up and checking those numbers or getting that phone call or, hey, just getting an email saying, hey, that you ran into this kind of money. Again, I don't know what I would do. Again, after the shock, I maybe just sit down and plan it out. But again, this man in Quebec bought his peers pizza lunch. I wouldn't eat the pizza. I'm like, are you serious? Your pizza lunch? This is what you're giving me, bro? So I found that very funny. And again, it kind of ties into, again, money. How do you leverage it? How do you sustain it? How do you use it? And when you come across a huge windfall of money, what do you do? Because as Dean mentioned, you can lose it as fast as it comes. And if you don't have the right people on your team, or you don't have the right resources, an accountant, a financial planner, or someone that just can sustain the money. Again, you put half of that money in the bank, that's making you $100,000 each year. That's a salary that you can live off of. I think that one of the biggest things is that when people do win the lottery, their lifestyle automatically changes. And then that's when they start doing the private jets. Private jet? Okay, I'll bring 20 of my friends. These are all costs. When you bring those 20 friends, you got to put them up somewhere. They got to eat. They're going to shop. So everything adds up. So again, for all the potential lotto winners out there, make sure you have a plan. You don't have to have a plan right away, but
stay within it.
yeah, you don't have to have a plan right away, but get the right people around you.
Yeah. So this week on Checks or Strikes,
Oh boy.
what's the most embarrassing way you try to, let's say, earn money? I have quite a few.
I don't know. This question sounds very, very familiar. Like
Well,
you
it
asked
was
it
as a
before.
kid, but now
As a
as
kid.
an adult, because I have a few as an adult that I try to do.
As an adult, making money.
Okay, well,
You
think
said
about it.
embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
I don't have one.
I wouldn't say it was me, but it was somebody I knew. We're collecting pop cans. I used to do the tabs.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
they say you can take it and make a wheelchair out of it or something like that. Something
wow.
stupid. But the pop cans, like they had bags and bags of pop cans. I was like, why do they have so many
Yeah, but
of
what are
them?
you really making off of
And
that?
they're like to return them and get money for them. I was like, how much do you really think you're getting?
Yeah.
They got maybe like $4 for like 4 bags. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, I would never.
That's not even a kids meal at McDonald's you're getting.
I wouldn't say it was embarrassing, but it was just so time consuming and dumb. I think this was on the early days of YouTube. They were saying that there was gold in cell phones and electronics. So I went around asking everybody for their old cell phones or any electronics, and then I broke them to get the chips, and then I got the material to melt the items, so then the gold would dissolve and go to the bottom, and then you shift it out and then you get the gold. Come to find out, you need like tons and tons of like microchips from like computers and phones to get even just like a gram of gold. Like I got nothing. It looked like gold dust after everything. It was such a waste of time. I bought the chemicals. I went to Rona, bought the glass. Yo, the chemicals, you can't do it in your house. Like you have to have like the mask, because like it will literally like destroy you if you like inhale that. So that was something that I did. I got like the whole thing, like melting it,
Yeah.
everything, and came up with nothing. Like it was such a waste of time. Bought the torch, tried everything,
No, that's funny. That's funny.
nothing. But yeah, that was my embarrassing.
I don't know. I don't think I've done. Yes, when I was younger, I did plenty of embarrassing things. Again, don't judge me. Listen, don't judge. But when I was younger, Yorkdale movie theater, we would go in, buy tickets for the movies, and then while we got into movies, we'd ask people, "Hey, can I get your ticket so I can, go get a drink or whatever?" Take their ticket, go to refund, and we would make, like, honestly, a good working day at the theater, we were making like 2-3 bills. Getting other people's tickets, going back outside, refunding it, not going back in the movie. And then people are like, hey, man, hey, I saw, you have my ticket. I'm like, nah, I'm out here. No, I don't. that was, to me, that was the easiest way. And again, we were kids, so it was just a hustle.
Yeah,
It
we were
was the
terrible.
hustle.
We did so many things for money, or even to save. I'm trying to think of embarrassing ways that I save money. That was the other one. The most embarrassing ways you try to save money. Ooh, most embarrassing ways I try to save money. Well, for the longest while,
I was never a jar guy.
well, for me, saving money would be with the car. I didn't turn on my AC purposely because I thought it used gas, but it doesn't. So,
Oh,
any,
that's got to be one of the myths, eh?
yeah,
About
so
AC and gas.
I had an Acura TL with leather seats. So in the hot summer, people were like, yo, turn on the AC. I said, no, roll down your window. I'm not turning on. It burns my gas. I'm paying premium gas. No.
Oh my
So
God.
that was kind of one of my most embarrassing things. My friends still make fun of me. Like, bro, you used to never turn on the AC. Yeah, so
You have
no.
people like, I want to go out with you. Like if I'm going somewhere, you're drenched. By the time
Yo,
you get
you're
to
hot
whatever
and
you're going
sticky,
to,
come off the car.
yeah,
peel it off.
you're melted. You're melted.
Yeah.
You would have to bring a change of clothes to go out
Yeah.
with you. No, not doing it. Not doing
Yeah,
it.
that's what I used to do. I used to torture people in my car. What were some other things that I did? Can't think of anything else. But you had a topic to talk about.
Well, yeah. I was gonna introduce this segment, the whiteboard segment. So, from time to time, Dean and I will have a segment within the podcast, and we'll have a whiteboard moment. Well, we'll take out the whiteboard and we'll discuss some things. Actually, do some writing on the whiteboard. So what we're going to talk about, or what we're going to talk about on the whiteboard is, and this is a question that is often asked when it comes to credit. Why did my credit score drop? And a lot of people don't really have an understanding as to why. When it goes up, it's all good. It shoots up, it's great. But then when it goes down, why does it go down? And then why does it go down by 12 points? Why does it go down by 3 points? Why does it go down by 6 points? So this is a topic that I think is widely on the consumer's minds. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So we're going to have you turn around, take a look at the whiteboard, give us a few. See if we're working here. Erase off this stuff here.